Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mr. Silver Brown's classroom. This year I'll be teaching world history to the sophomore class, and I will be teaching AP comparative government to my seniors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with how this class actually runs. You're going to be a part of an excellent experience in your sophomore and senior year. So let's talk about how I do things, because in both classes, we teach different things, very much so, but how we teach them and my expectations for all of you, right up there to the top. So let's get started. Number one, grading is 70% assessment and 30% practical application. So if you're doing really well on the top part, your assessments, you're probably doing really well on the bottom part too. So mastery checks and unit exams are 70% of your overall grade. We have different kinds of activities we do to practically apply that information, and that is part of this practical application grade. Now, we do something in this class called the mastery-based process. You have to know the content. If you're like one of those that's used to the idea of, hey, you know what? I just need to come in and turn in work and all that, that's going to work perfectly fine. It won't. You actually have to know your stuff in here, and you will have so many opportunities to prove that you do. Number one on the list, you must use your school issued Chromebook to be able to do any assessments in this class. If you come into class, you cannot use your phone. No, you cannot use an iPad. You cannot use a personal computer, any of that. That is a no. You must come to school with a school issued Chromebook to take any assessments, any tests at all. Number two, you're going to be going into the Google Classroom classwork tab, and you're going to find this. This is a hyperdoc. This has all the information you're going to need for each unit and section of the course. This hyperdoc is going to have a couple of things. Number one, the title is what we're talking about. Number two, it's going to have a video that you're going to watch. Number three, it's going to have a PDF of the slide deck. And then number four, it's going to tell you everything that you need to know to successfully achieve mastery in the class. So if this talks about, like, first right here, identify grade weights and their percentages. Okay, cool. I already told you earlier on what the grade weights and the percentages are. 70% for formal assessments, mastery checks, unit exams, and 30% for everything else. So bang, we already know that. What's the identify the tool that is needed to take a mastery check? You must have a Chromebook, school issued Chromebook. So bang, this is literally, I'm telling you what I want you to find out of these videos. All right. So once you get this hyperdoc up, maybe some people print off these guided notes so they can write down the answers. That's great. Okay. Then you're going to click on this is going to be a link. It's going to go to a video. Now this video is going to run a little longer than normal, but the rest of the videos for the rest of the entire year are no longer than 12 minutes. We do them in short chunks. We talk about small concepts, so you get all you can out of that concept. And of course, we'll practice it during class and you take the mastery check, bada bing, you've got it down. Okay. So the video, this one's going to be longer than 12 minutes because it introduces you to the class, not a whole lot longer, but otherwise 12 minutes only. All right. Then you take the mastery check. The mastery check is going to be on a Google form on a locked Chromebook. You must stay on the Chromebook screen. If you deviate from it, it automatically becomes a 0. Okay. Now it's multiple choice. Normally 10 questions, sometimes 15, rarely 20. However, you must get an 80% to achieve mastery. That's 8 out of 10, 12 out of 15, or 16 out of 20. If you do not get 80% on the mastery check, then it goes down as a 0. Okay. Achieving mastery, you must get 80% or better. The nice side is that you're going to be able to retake these mastery checks for the entire course of the semester. You have multiple opportunities to get that mastery. And let's show you kind of how that works. So let's just say you take a mastery check. All right. Well, I return those mastery checks to you when everybody in the class has taken the mastery check. I can't return it early because it gives other people kind of an advantage. All right. So in 1 week, I return to you that mastery check, and it will mark for you the questions you got incorrect. It's not going to give you the right answer, but it's going to tell you, bang, hey, you have these wrong. Okay. Then once everybody turns it in, I push it back out. You'll know, by the way, before that, whether you pass the mastery check or not. I usually put them in same day or the next day into the grade book. So if you didn't achieve mastery and it goes from blank to a 0, then you know you didn't achieve the mastery. Okay. If you do not do the first take of the mastery check, after 1 week, it automatically becomes a 0 and you must do a retake. Okay. So let's just say you didn't quite get it on that first mastery check. You didn't get the 80%. What happens? Well, we run it back, baby. We run it back until you get it correct. So you do a first retake. The first thing you need to do is come to me with handwritten notes. You must have all those hyperdoc prompts. You must have them correctly answered. And if you come in and their answers are wrong, I'll give them back to you and say you take it back. And when you have these all written correct, I'll give you a retake. Okay, but let's not waste our time. We come to me, I want to see bang, bang, bang. At least we answered the questions. We're ready to go. Okay, so you're allowed to retake one mastery check a day. One a day, not like a class period, a day. All right, and you now the difference is the mastery checks go from being pretty much straight up multiple choice to a combination of multiple choice and short answers. So you're going to have to prove to me that you know your stuff. Okay, now when can you do retakes? The entire semester. The last retake is going to be the basically the Friday before finals week in December. That's the last day you can do a retake for this semester. Retakes can be done during the day during U time. Okay, if you fill out a pass and come on into my classroom, I'll hook you up with a retake. Before school, I'm here usually an hour before school. And then Wednesday and Fridays during teacher PLC time, if you just need to hit a quick retake, we can get you loaded and locked and get that retake done. Now, let's say you do the retake and you don't get 80%. What do we do next? Well, next, then we have one-on-one tutoring sessions. All right, you come in, you talk to me or any of my colleagues in the social studies department, and my colleagues will come in and say, yeah, we did a one-on-one tutoring session. Me or any of my colleagues in the social studies department, you must have like, what's going on here? Why aren't we quite getting the 80%? Again, that's a one mastery check a day. Once you've got the tutoring session on, like if you come in and talk to me, we'll hit you right afterwards. We go bang, you know what? Good, we've got it down, rock and roll. And same thing. Last time to do that is Friday before finals week in December. This is a little different in terms of times you can do it. You can only do it during U time. You can only do it before school or at other times by appointment. You got to make sure you show up for your appointments, because if you don't show up to your appointments, then I'm not going to offer that for you. So make sure you show up for your appointments. 99.9% of the time by here, you've got the 8 out of 10. Look at that. The worst you can get is a B if you keep getting 8 out of 10s. All right. So that's part of the mastery-based process. Then we have our unit exams. And unit exams they're basically, I take all the mastery checks, I put them together into one thing and say, boom, unit exam. So if you did good on the mastery checks, you're going to do good on the unit exams. Okay. There is no 80% on the unit exam. It's just a straight grade. What you get is what you get. But you can retake unit exams as well, and you can retake them on any day we do a unit exam, either during U time, or most people, what they do is they take an exam on the regular exam day and then they do a retake on that right after they're done. And then on finals day, you have one last opportunity to retake any any unit exams. Now, the difference here is if you do a retake on an exam, the grade you get is the grade you get on the latest take. So if you got like a 75 and you did a unit exam retake and you get an 85, that's the grade you get. But if you get a 75 and then on the retake you get a 70, that's also the grade you're going to get. So it's the latest grade going forward. All right. So that's the mastery-based process. You're required to get the 80%. I want you to master the stuff we do in here. If you decide for some reason you got to go away for a long-term absence or a short-term independent study or anything like that, it is your responsibility still to do the work. I posted on Google Classroom. Everything must be completed. Mastery checks and unit exams, they're going to still have to be completed, but you're going to have to do it when you return because they have to be done here with me. You don't do mastery checks just strictly online. You come in and we take care of business. But you're still responsible for the content even when you leave. You're going to have to come back and make sure that you know your stuff. Okay. Some people look and say, well, I have unlimited takes. So I might as well just procrastinate and delay it and wait till the end. So does everybody else. And this is where people get into trouble. The best thing I can tell you is pass mastery the first time. I mean, just nail it. Don't wait. Don't do anything like do it now, because the longer you wait and the more you wait, the more stress you create later on down the line, and it will become stressful, because the last 2 or 3 weeks of each semester, I have 20 or 30 kids wanting to do retakes, and you sit in the line, and I might not get to you during U time. I might not get to you during morning tutoring, because every student, doesn't matter if you're an AP student, a world student, an A student, B student, C student, F student, every student has a right to do those retakes, often usually first come first serve or by appointment. So you need to make sure that, like, if you're delaying, there is going to be a problem with that. Don't delay. There's no out. You have to achieve mastery on these things. So make sure you take care of business early, and then ask questions, ask for help, ask for support. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other class rules. Number one, cell phones will be going in a caddy. It looks like that top one in the corner up there. The caddy is in my classroom right here. Your name is going to be associated with a number. It will be that for the entire year. This is not optional. You must have your phone in a caddy. If the phone is not in the caddy, you'll be asked to leave the classroom, go to A23. Okay, I'll warn you. I'll say, like, you can put it in the caddy, or you can give it to me, or you're gone. And there is no discussion about this. Using in the bathroom, you can't take your phone. The phone is gone. There's only one time that students are allowed to use their phone, and that is if we have a code red lockdown drill. Then I will ask you to take your phone and text your family and tell them you're okay. Okay. But other than that, you're never going to take that phone out of that pocket. It is not going to happen. And if you decide to refuse, you'll just simply be asked to leave and go to A24. Okay. Bathroom, only one person at a time, please. I have a dedicated computer that is strictly for Minga. You are going to sign a bathroom pass. Go there, come back. Don't have to make me send the Mounties after you. If you are too long, you wander the halls, whatever, I will simply revoke it. You will not have bathroom privileges in my class. No bathroom passes the first 10 or last 10 minutes of class. You go, you come back, but last 10, first 10, that is a negative. Dress code, sometimes it's controversial. That's our class, not our class, our school and district dress policy. We're here to learn and work. So excessively revealing clothing, inappropriate for workplace clothing, anything that promotes violence, illegal laws, advocating racial, ethnic, religious prejudice, and then, of course, unsafe for work environment, which is not here. But you can think dress codes are bad or racist, sexist, and classist, but you would have to prove that that is the case and that I selectively use it, and you're not going to find that. So take care of that. If you do break the dress code, I'll simply ask you to change it, or I'll ask you to go to student activities to get a sweater or a shirt. One other thing, the one thing that will get you kicked out of my class immediately and ridiculed for the entire year is if you break a serious dress code violation, and that's that you wear Dodger gear, which makes you a person of questionable character, and I will make sure that you understand that, yeah, not acceptable, dress code violation, definitely. Dodgers suck, hate them. Now, if you need to contact me about anything, I am on campus before school. You can get a hold of me at lunch or after school if you make an appointment. Obviously, we're going to have U time taken care of, and no one really knows exactly how U time is going to work at this point. But once I know, I'm going to set up time so you can come in, and if you want to just do a mastery check, we'll bang, bang, bang that. If you need to do one-on-one tutoring session, I'll make sure that you get the time and support you need. But that's exactly how you contact me. My phone number's there. That's for my school phone right over here. Emailing me is the best way Your parents, best way to contact me is through email. I will be contacting your parents a lot, especially if your academic standing is having a problem. Those of you that are AP students, you are not required to take the AP test. So don't feel like you have the stress to do that. I want you to have a good experience in the class. World history students, my expectations for you are just as high as any other student that I have ever taught. You're not going to learn the intensity necessarily or the speed of what they do in an AP class, but the expectation that you come in and we are rocking and rolling. You're going to learn about why people have been competing for resources for thousands of years, and we're going to have a good time. All right. So make sure you get in contact with me with any questions.